I've just had a distressing call with someone, so I'm not feeling so good about things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, I just wanted to touch base to say that we've received your claim form.
Yeah.
And so you are not a NDIA employee, but you provide services under the NDIS scheme.
I'm a registered NDIS provider, and so that's where my pay comes from, you know.
So you provide a contract of services.
If this is, just tell me if it's upfront, if it's going to be a disappointing call for me, because I can't handle anymore.
Look, what I just wanted to confirm, we've received your claim, and I'm just going to try and touch base with NDIA to confirm whether we would cover you under our scheme. So I just wanted to, because you wrote it in our scheme. So we cover Commonwealth agencies and then their employees. So it can be a difference between whether they're contract for or of services. So I just need to
Everyone
confirm.
seems to be splitting hairs to ruin my agency to get money, prosperity, health and happiness. I've just had a call from another person who is doing exactly the same thing as you, and it's all related. Now, I sometimes collecting evidence for when I drop all this, and it seems to me that any agency or avenue to get me money or anything like that. I mean, the issue with you is, I'm sorry, Dale, but whether you can insure me or not. Is that right?
Whether you're covered under this insurance scheme or not.
Okay, and what are you trying to tell me? Are you just saying I'm not, or you don't know?
I'm just touching base to say we've received your claim. I'm going to make some inquiries with the NDIA, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able to clarify with them.
Well, I know what the NDIA are going to say, because they're not the insurer. ComSure, or whatever they're called, is actually the agency for the national body that represents people who are insured. So I've already called the NDIA. They told me to call the NDIS. I rang the NDIS. They told me to call the NDIA. I went to my income protection, and that didn't pay out because apparently stress is an illness. Now, they amplified my stress, and to be fair, I had a bit of a very stress-related financial thing because I was homeless and squatting, and I was hospitalised. Now, while I was in the hospital, I told them of a grand conspiracy to ruin me, and they thought I was psychotic, and they're part of the conspiracy, you see. So they tried to dope me up on all these drugs, and I refused. And then when I left hospital, they had to acknowledge that my former partner worked for ASIC, which is supposed to be on you and me, and his boss was David Irvine. He's sworn to ruin my life. He's been having standover tactics, and I've got nothing. I've got nothing more to lose. Now, you're calling me today as a representative who gets paid by Commentour or whoever you are to tell me to split the hair to see if you can call the NDIA just to check if I'm even covered. So you haven't called with good news. All you've called to do is kick the can down the road and allow me to.
No, that's not my intention. My intention was just to confirm receipt of your claim, like you asked, and just to let you know that I just need to make an inquiry, and then I can come back to you and then talk through. If it is one of ours, the claim process. So I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it was just to touch base.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I've got nothing against you personally. It's just that I'm really frustrated with the entities and powers that be that refuse to part with their money. It's a neoliberal agenda that's forced and amplified by my former partner's standover tactics. And he is a murderer, and he is a tax evader of $1.5 million. Now, I don't know the policy at Commentour, if it's a national agency, if I've got a crime to report, what happens, because I've actually had 2 preventable deaths, not 1 but 2, one just recently, and I'm still fighting for that justice. No one's apologised. Everyone's just attacking me. And, when you feel so assaulted by everyone, including your own family, who sometimes just can't see the bigger picture of what I've experienced, like you that can't see it, I can prove that there's been 2 murders and I've survived both of them. And if I could go to the police, I would, but I have, and they won't help me.
So you've reported them to the police?
Reported who? The people who tried to kill me. It was malpractice and negligence, so. And while I was, so they thought I was unwell. I actually recorded the takedown of when they took me into hospital. I was chilling inside having a beer, and they took me in there. They maliciously took away my medication. I was already squatting. I'd lost everything. I have nothing though, and it's because of this ongoing process that is embedded and systemic and contained throughout all agencies, people, and nothing against you, but you're a representative of the veneer of the government, and above the government is ASIO, and above and in cahoots with ASIO is my former partner, who I have information was present at a murder. Now, I don't know if these calls are recorded, are they?
No.
They're not. I wonder why.
I just take a file note of the conversation, but we don't have recording.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I record things because I need to collect evidence of the outgoing onion layers of how far this conspiracy will go to allow me to become marginalised and homeless and stressed. And according to some people, I'm mad, but according to other people, I'm not mad enough. So you can see how, this battle for me is quite contained, sustained, and has gone on for 4 years. And I've got a lot of resilience, but I won't have it forever.
Are you you're currently under the care of Dr. Moore?
Sometimes I see him. I've seen him a few times. Why?
Oh, just because you've provided a medical certificate. So it's just in terms of what supports you've got in place at the moment.
Oh, thank you. I do see him, yeah. And he provided the
He's a psychiatrist.
He worked up a claim that went back. I don't see a psychiatrist, no. I haven't got one.
I think he'd recommend.
I think he thinks I should have one, but when I go in there, I'm angry and rant to him. But he's complicit in this conspiracy as well, because in actual fact, I have a diagnosis from a psychiatrist as ADHD, and it's a physical manifestation, a neurological condition, and you need dexamphetamine to correct it. And in hospital, they removed that, and I'd been on a large dose every day for 8 years, having an amazing life. I did a master's degree, a PhD. I ran my own business for 2 years before a sexual abuse case, as you would read in the notes, triggered me to become unable to work. And the magistrate, who was also in on it, said, in her words, I was doomed to fail. Well, if I was doomed to fail, why didn't someone tell me that instead of making me battle for 3.5 years? Now, in my life, I advocate for people who are less advantageous than me. And that's what I've done my whole life. It's been through my kindness to people and my want to help spread knowledge about wellness and stuff like that. But no one's willing to acknowledge or listen to my story. And so I just wonder, are you required to report murders to the police, or if it's a malpractice case or a cover-up? And what if you're part of the cover-up? What have you been told about me? Dr. Moore, I've got a psychiatrist. What else have you been told?
Oh, that's just from the information that you provided.
All right. And why don't you know, hasn't there been anyone else in the entire history of the NDIS that has put in a claim like this?
Not who's a provider. So we deal with their employees, the NDIS employees, but not their providers.
All right, okay. Well, I think that's unusual because there are so many individual people who are legal. Are you in cahoots with me that somewhere along the line, if I become sick from work, I should be covered by insurance somehow, or a work cover type thing? Because work cover has actually messaged me and said you're the people to go to, kicking the can down the road, and I've just had someone else kick the can down the road, and now you're kicking the can down the road. So what do you want to do?
I'm not saying anything definite. All I was saying is just calling to confirm receipt of your claim, and then just letting you know that I just need to make some inquiries with NDIA, and then I can give you a call back to let you know whether this is a claim under the Comcare scheme or not, and then if it is, what the next steps would entail, and if not, look at help.
How long have you worked for the company for? How wouldn't you know that?
Well, I've worked at Comcare for almost 7 years.
Oh, right. And you don't know someone
who's a subcontractor? You said you're a sole trader.
Well, I'm a sole trader with my own ABN, yes, but I don't have to have work cover because I don't employ anyone. So I'm not eligible for work cover. So ComInsure, they said, was the next step. Now I can provide that evidence if you'd like me to email it through.
So you put in the claim for income protection.
Hang on.
And they declined it?
No. See, there you are. I didn't say anything about income protection. Now,
yes, you did. You said that you had a claim for income protection, but they said they don't pay out. It's not a diagnosis.
Because what? I'm sorry, I missed you then.
You said that your income protection didn't pay out because stress wasn't a diagnosis.
Because it just wasn't a diagnosis.
Stress wasn't?
Sorry, can you repeat again? Sorry.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that your income protection didn't pay out because stress isn't a diagnosis.
They said stress is a diagnosis. It's called mental illness, apparently, according to them. But I was stressed when I was 5 and I saw people cutting down trees, I'm a sensitive person. I can't handle this kind of abuse from people. Anyway, we're splitting hairs. I tell you what, under the freedom of under the Surveillance
Act. What's your
Act,
business name?
It's a website name, richmclean.com.au.
All right. Well, as I said, I'll get through to NDIA and then I'll get back to you. But I just wanted to confirm receipt of your claim.
Well, thank you. That's all we had to do. Just follow up and say we have receipt of your claim, and I kind of expected when I got the call, I would get an acknowledgement of whether it was going through for assessment or not. But it seems to be a level before that now. Can we even do it? This is the problems I've had all along.
Yeah, well, I just wanted, to flag that. I just need to confirm this so that, you understand, just keeping you as informed as we can.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I've been antagonistic towards you, but I've just had an hour and a half.
I can hear that you're frustrated, and I understand that. So that's, no need to apologize.
Dale, if I can just give you some information as a sentient being to a sentient being, the income protection didn't pay out. It led me to further breakdown of financial stress, which led me to hospital, which led to me telling him, it was a conspiracy back to a thing that happened ages ago, and my former partner working for ASIO, and I'm afraid there's powers bigger than you and me that are complicit in this, and they're trying to destroy me, and they're standing back by hook or crook with the agents of power, money, privilege, against one single person. And I, if I did have a mental illness, and not just was being maliciously targeted in the hope that I will die, because I've already died twice, and they're hoping that I'll die before I get my compensation. Now, if I do have a mental illness, I should have an advocate, don't you think? If you come back and say, oh, well, you know, where does the buck stop? You know, like, if you tell me I'm not insured, like, what am I supposed to do? Are you going to provide legislation which says I actually cannot be insured? Or I don't need to be argumentative, but this has been going for 4 years at least. I'll let you go, but please go on. I prefer an email. If you can email me at rich@richmclean.com.au, I'll put it on the form. And if I, as a sole trader, as an NDIS employee, can't claim under Commonwealath, which is a government agency, and the NDIS is a government thing, then please provide me with the legislation that excludes me from that.
All right. Well,
you can't just say it on face value. You can't say, "Oh, sorry." You know.
No. I'm not giving you a different answer now. I'm just saying I'm going to clarify, and I'll come back to you in writing like you've asked for. So that's
okay. Well, if you could please clarify with legislation and law, and like you can't just say, oh, the NDIS said they couldn't. Like, this doesn't leave me anywhere. Like, I actually need a lawyer and an advocate, because as far as I'm concerned, those companies and your company, I mean, like, you're the front of house, but your company has a whole bunch of lawyers, you know, and I don't have any. Why? Because I've got no money. I would have money if my claims of malpractice and other victimisation and discrimination went to court, but I don't have that opportunity or agency. You know what I mean? So your company, who you offer, Commonwealath, they're an insurance, the federal insurance company. And I've told you in this call that there's a big red button that goes off when I call into people, and it says, do not give him anything. Do whatever you can to reduce his prosperity, his freedom, his agency, food. Let's kill him. That's what they do. And I know that there are people higher than you telling you to call me and give me that news, and then kicking the can down the road. So when do you think you'll get back to me with an email? Because I can't validate a call, and you'll have to provide evidence from the NDIA that they will not and cannot insure me, and the legal reasons from the Commonwealth legislation why that is so, if that is okay.
Yeah. We'll keep you up to date.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.